Honestly, I didn't think I needed a baby food maker and I thought it was bougie to have. But after trying it, I'm completely sold and it makes such a high effort task low effort. And I was so excited when the company gifted me this in exchange for a review. I'm going to tell you what I love about it and what I don't love about it. First of all, I love that the machine automatically turns on once the lid is locked into place, which I absolutely love because then you know it's on. There's no question about it, and it's a safety feature as well. There are so many different functions and settings, whether you are going to steam your vegetables, meat, fruit, if you want to auto blend or manual blend based on the texture. And as you can see here, I'm turning this open, and that's where you're going to put your pure filtered water in. You want to make sure you don't fill it up beyond the max point. I did a little bit here. And I'm going to make a kale, sweet potato, and apple puree for my 7-month-old baby. And as you can see here, I'm dropping the produce directly into the steam basket. And what I love about it is that I literally just have to use one machine to steam everything and then blend it, which is so nice because prior to this, I was literally grabbing a pot, then transferring it to another, and then putting it into a blender. And it was too much. So once I have everything loaded, I can choose my settings and let the machine do its work. And honestly, this is probably one of the biggest selling points for me. As a busy mom to two, I'm not going to stand in my kitchen watching sweet potatoes steam. While the food was cooking, I actually put my baby in the carrier and started trying to get her down for a nap. And I think this is such a realistic example of why I've been enjoying this machine. Once I have everything set up and chose my settings, I can walk away and do something else while her food is cooking. I can take care of her, clean up the kitchen, and get something else done. And I also love that it is set to a steam setting where it's not going to take out all of the nutrients, which is huge, right? Because that is why we make baby food at home, right? So that our babies can get the biggest benefit. And so once it's done steaming, as you can see here, I'm using tongs because it does get pretty hot. And you could use a towel, of course. And I put it directly into the food maker, the little blender directly, which is so amazing. And you have the option to choose the manual blend setting, which I think this is great if your baby is trying different textures. I am just starting out solid, so I'm doing the auto blend, and that will automatically puree the food. And I love it because you can walk away in this setting as well, and you don't have to stand directly in front of it. So I also really like having controls over the consistency because as your baby gets more comfortable with solids, you may not necessarily want everything blended into the exact same super smooth texture. And I just love how creamy this turned out. And as you can see here, this is our sweet potato, kale, and apple all blended together, and I love being able to see exactly what's going in her food. I also really like that it can make a larger batch at once instead of going through this process every single day. I can portion everything out into individual servings and have some food ready later. And now that I'm done making the food, this is another feature I was really excited to test, the self-cleaning function. Because honestly, if something is supposed to make my life easier, but leaves me with a bunch of pieces to scrub afterwards, that takes away from the convenience, for me at least. So you can see that there's still food inside after blending. So I'm going to add the water and run this cycle for cleaning specifically. And while that's running once again, I don't have to stand here, and I actually fed my baby some food. And you'll see that once it was done cleaning, all I had to do was rinse it. I did have to scrub it out an outer part of it, but it was minimal effort. Like, I could not believe how easy it was. So if you are trying to mom, do it all, but also make sure that your baby has the right nutrients, I highly recommend this baby food maker. I honestly thought it was a luxury, but Now I can see that it is a necessity if you are in the season of life trying to give your baby nutritious homemade food without adding another big task. Oh, before I forget to mention, the one thing that I don't like is that how hard it is to remove the actual blender from the machine. So as you can see, I use the bigger portion of the machine where the water goes in, and I use that as leverage to twist apart the blender. So that's just an added tip that I would highly recommend in terms of removing that. But other than that, I love everything else about it. And I hope that helps.